No matter how tall you are, there are real biological advantages built into your height, along with trade-offs. Let's break them down, starting at 4'11" and going all the way up to 6'11". 4'11" to 5'2". People in this range have extremely efficient body mechanics. Shorter limbs create less rotational force on the joints. This reduces long-term wear on the knees, hips, and ankles. Balance is easier to maintain. Stability is naturally higher. The body requires less energy to move and less structural reinforcement to stay upright. This makes movement economical. However, the disadvantage appears when force and reach are required. Shorter limbs generate less mechanical advantage, which means actions like lifting, pushing, or throwing require more relative effort from the muscles. Tasks that require reaching upward or covering distance can become physically inefficient. The body works efficiently, but power and reach are limited. 5'3" to 5'6". People in this range sit just below the biomechanical average. Their bodies are still highly efficient. Blood doesn't need to travel far, so circulation remains relatively economical. This slightly reduces cardiovascular workload over time. Their center of mass is lower, which improves balance and agility. Quick directional changes feel more natural. The trade-off is stride efficiency and perception. Walking or running the same distance requires more steps and more repeated muscle contractions. Over long periods, this subtly increases energy expenditure. Socially, this height can be underestimated. Not because of capability, but because humans unconsciously associate size with authority. 5'7" to 5'9". This range sits close to the human structural average. Limb length, joint angles, and muscle leverage are well balanced. This allows the body to adapt easily to many different physical tasks. Strength, speed, coordination, and endurance tend to distribute evenly. This is one reason why this range performs well across many sports. But balance comes with a cost. The disadvantage here is specialization. Because this range lacks extremes, competitive advantages are harder to dominate. You may be too tall for sports favoring a low center of gravity, and too short for those requiring maximum reach. Versatile, but rarely dominant in extremes. 5'10" to 6'0". At this range, reach becomes a noticeable advantage. Each step covers more distance. Each arm movement reaches further. Walking becomes more efficient per step. This is where height begins influencing how others perceive you. Humans instinctively associate additional height with leadership, competence, and confidence, even when behavior is identical. The trade-off is joint loading. Longer limbs increase torque on the knees, hips, and ankles during movement. Without proper strength training and conditioning, this raises the risk of overuse injuries. The body performs well, but demands more structural support. 6'1" to 6'3". This is where leverage starts compounding. Longer bones act like longer levers. This increases force output when muscles are trained properly. Throwing, lifting, and pushing become mechanically easier. Eye level rises. This expands visual scanning range and improves spatial awareness. The disadvantage is cumulative physical strain. Greater leverage also means greater stress on joints, connective tissue, and recovery systems. Injuries tend to heal more slowly, and movement inefficiencies become noticeable without strict conditioning. This height requires consistent training, diet, and recovery to remain sustainable. Powerful, but high maintenance. 6'4" to 6'6". This range enters structural rarity. The body now produces high momentum during movement. Once in motion, it resists stopping. This is powerful, but also demanding. Reach becomes a dominant advantage. The downside is constant environmental mismatch. Cars, seating, desks, beds, and clothing are rarely designed for bodies this large. Posture issues become common. Daily discomfort accumulates over time. The body is capable, the environment is not. 6'7" to 6'11". Extreme height operates at the edge of human scaling. Reach and absolute strength potential are unmatched. The cardiovascular system must push blood across a much longer vertical distance. This increases cardiac workload. Joint surfaces experience enormous compressive force. Every step generates high impact. Without careful conditioning, wear accelerates. Coordination becomes more complex. The nervous system must control longer levers with greater inertia. The brain adapts, but the cost is constant energy demand. Every height solves one problem and creates another. There is no perfect body scale, only trade-offs. Understanding them gives you leverage. Subscribe for more videos like this.